that kind of a movie.
Okay. My speech is on asthma, and have you ever felt the feeling that you can't breathe? Well, that's what it's like to have asthma. It's a chronic lung disease, and it affects people throughout their whole lives. It can affect any race, anyone, any race, and it ranges from mild to severe. But studies have found that it's concentrated in minorities and people who live in like inner cities, in old housing, and it's also very common in children more than adults. Before I start talking about this, I think I should explain what asthma is. It's the inflammation of the bronchioles and the bronchi, and it's caused by allergens and irritants, which are called triggers. And some people can have excessive mucus, which causes their airways to constrict even more than it already is from the allergens and irritants. And according to the Heart, Lung, and Blood Institute, signs and symptoms of asthma are characteristic wheeze and chest tightness and a cough. It is measured by a peak flow spirometer, which measures the pressure exerted by the lungs when it's blown into. And it's good because for asthma patients, because they can track their progress and if they're going to have an exacerbation of their asthma. And there is no cure, though. And people just have to manage it and treat it for the rest of their lives. The treatment for asthma is an inhaler, and there's steroid inhalers and quick onset inhalers like albuterol. And a good way to prevent asthma is to have an action plan to know if you're going to have asthma, what you can do, and to recognize your triggers, and to get a pneumonia and flu vaccine, because it causes extra stress on your body when you have those and can cause an outbreak. For the prevalence of asthma, according to the CDC, 12% of African Americans have asthma as compared to 8% of white Americans. And 12% of people below the poverty line have asthma as compared to people who are 8%, which are above. And this is important because African Americans are generally of a lower economic status, so they're even more affected by it. And they live in inner cities a lot, and this is where most of asthma occurs. And it's because in inner cities they have poor, unkept housing, and there's a lot of triggers in these, like triggers like mold and indoor and outdoor air pollution, dust, and tobacco smoke. But mainly, one of the major triggers is cockroaches, and they can cause they can cause people to have sensitivity to not just the cockroach themselves, but the allergens that it puts off. And according to the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Disease, 95% of the United States inner city housings are infested with cockroaches, like to varying degrees, but they're there. And it's also one of their major triggers of asthma. Whale and Wade researchers found that kids who are sensitive to roach allergens are 2.8 times more likely to get hospitalized than kids who are not sensitive to just cockroaches. And so of these 2 million people that have asthma, 7 million of those are kids. And the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Disease estimates that because of these hospitalizations, that the loss to the United States economy is $1 billion because the kids have to be hospitalized, and then there's costs involved with that, and the parents have to take off work because they have to take care of their kids. So it's very costly to our economy. And these kids that have asthma miss an average of 10 days more of school than kids without asthma, according to Mooney et al. And so asthma is a long-term and chronic disease, and it affects children mostly, and it causes them to miss school and be hospitalized. It can affect anyone and everyone, but most severely children who are African American and live in cities. And the main way to treat it, well, the best thing we can do is just to is to manage it and keep it under control. And that's it. I just have to phone you guys. Still sitting here.